Good morning, it's Toshiba here. I will be doing a look through of the Good and the Beautiful's Meteorology Unit Study. Stay tuned. So let's just dig right in. Like I said, here's the Meteorology Unit Study slash curriculum. Oh, here, it says Unit Study here. So it is Meteorology and Atmosphere Unit Study for K through 6. This will be pretty good. I've never done a unit study with my children. I mean, we've done unit studies kind of like on our own, but not actually purchased one and done it. So I'm really excited to try it. So here's how it comes. It comes in, let's go back to that, shrink wrapped. I took the shrink wrap off and there was no way I can get it back on because I went through it obviously. And there aren't any holes punched in it because I guess they want you to have the liberty to do whatever you want to do with it. I plan on binding it or maybe having it bound. I also thought about the 3-ring. I just don't, I'll show you the pages where I don't know if punching holes would be, in this page it might be fine, but in some of the other ones it would not. So anyway, here's the first page, Meteorology, Weather, and Atmosphere, and it is, here's a table of contents. You can see all the chapters are done on here. I mean, if you've seen this online, then I'm just going through it from a personal, point of view. If you can see the tabs that I have, the light yellow ones are pages that I want to laminate. The dark yellow or the gold ones are more things that are like important things for me to flip back through, and the purple are things I need to make copies of. So a lot of this really has to be copied if you're going to use it with multiple children. So on here you see it tells you what you need: a science journal, a science wall, which we'll probably use a cork board for that, and I'll show you in a minute what goes on there. There are beautiful mini books that are included, and then the lesson preparation and experiments that you may have to do with your kids, and then to develop a weather station. So I marked this because I wanted to remember when I'm making out my big list of all the things that I want to, I'm probably going to try to buy the materials a few weeks in advance. So I'm going to try to purchase these before school starts. So as you can see, you'll need an outdoor thermometer, a barometer, the wind vane, a rain gauge, anemometer, I have no idea what that is, not into weather, and a real hands, while real hands-on tools, here's what it says, are ideal. If you're unable to purchase any of these, you can use other tools. So anyway, you don't have to purchase those things, but my son can't wait to embark on that. And then of course there's the weather station. He does this now and we don't really have materials to do that. So you'll start doing daily weather data pages, however you pronounce it, after lesson 6 or at lesson 6. But there are pages that I'll show you later where you can do that. And then they have, of course, some extra things that you can do for older children that are doing this as well. So here, I love this page because this isn't, I have Apologia for one of my sons who's doing zoology, and they also provide this, which is like a huge blessing. I'm doing, my daughter is doing chemistry, and there's not one like this necessarily. And so it's really convenient to have it all here, so I could just make a copy or take a picture, which is probably what I'm going to do, so I don't have to make a copy, and take it to the store and try to purchase at least this side all at once. Most things you probably have, but there's just some other things like, I don't have magazines. I don't subscribe to any magazines. And so, yeah, that kind of a thing that I'll have to look for. All the supplies are on one page for every lesson. You see all the things that you might need. I didn't speak about this earlier, but the weight of the paper is nice, and it's kind of, I don't know, it's not like the other products that they have on what feels like cardstock or a lighter weight paper. This one has like a sheen to it, like a texture. I don't know, that the texture is kind of soft and shiny, but the weight is pretty heavy. So I didn't know how that would work out, but we'll find out. It seems like if I highlight it, it would smear, but I'm not going to do that. But if I wrote in one of those pens that had a heavy drip, or I'm not a pen person, so I'm not like that, but I know I don't use ballpoint pens that are really ink heavy because I don't like, anyway, I don't think I could write on that. I used pencil on this one so far. So anyway, here are the optional read aloud storybooks. And so Mindy is the person who wrote this. And so here are the asterisks. The asterisk is for the ones that she suggested heavily. So anyway, what I went through and did in the first day, I haven't done the second page. I only did chapter 1 through 15. So if you want to pause the video and look at this, you can see she put F, what it stands for, and the interest level. But what I did is mark all the ones that I checked on my local library's website. And so I just went to the local library in my neighborhood, clicked on their website, and all the checks were ones they had. If there was an A by it, it means that they didn't. But when I got over here, there was one that I looked up that they did have. I just needed to type in a more specific wording. So when I typed in, for instance, Twisters and Other Terrible Storms, this isn't the book, but this is the example I'm giving you, it didn't come up. But then I typed in by, Mary Pope Osborne, and then of course the book came up. So it wouldn't happen with that one, but there was a couple of other ones where I wrote an A by because I also found them on Amazon and ones that I'd be willing to purchase. So this haiku, I didn't see it. I went back and looked for this one. I did not see it at my local library, and it wasn't even another one that was in the chain where I could have borrowed it from there or have it like interlibrary shipped or whatever it is. So anyway, most of these books were there. If they had an A by it, it means that they didn't have it, or I wanted to purchase it and I put the price. Like this one was $4 and this one was $8 and this one was $6. Just a rough estimate. And there was one, the Twisters and Other Terrible Storms, that would be used here, and you can see it's used there and it's used over here. So I thought that one might be worth purchasing. So after we check it out, I'll determine whether or not we'll purchase that one. I also wrote there were 43 books. I just counted the dots to see how many read alouds there were, all together, to see how overwhelmed or not I might be. And actually, it only took me a couple minutes to do these, probably 20 minutes, because I didn't figure I'd do this until after I was done going through the package. So I've done 1 through 15, so I only have those ones left to do, and I'll probably do those tonight at football practice. So I marked this as something I wanted to make a copy of, but also I put the yellow tab because I want to laminate this. These are going to be for the word wall, and so I just plan on getting a cork board and laminating these. I haven't determined whether I'm going to cut them and then laminate them so there's some space in between, or I'm going to laminate the whole sheet and then cut it that way. I think I'm going to do the former. Anyway, but this is for the weather wall, or the word wall that they're going to build, or the word wall, and it's nice. I think that was 2, this is 3, so there's 4, 5. So there's 5 of these sheets that I'm probably going to have laminated. Make copies first, and then I'm also going to laminate. I'll probably just make copies and laminate the copies so I can keep this in its original state. I like about this is it has the objective, it's very short, and then it has a preparation of what you need. So then it tells you to print and create the mini book. And so I'll show you what the mini book looks like, but this is what the lesson looks like. Here are the questions that you would ask. Here are the answers there that you would answer if they don't get them correctly. It's really simple, straight to the point. I think it allows a lot of time for kids to think on their own of what these things would be instead of having an already prepared answer for them. They're just giving you kind of a little bit into what it would be like or what the answer should be, but my kids always have answers that surprise me, especially those gifted ones of mine. So, and then here's a science journal. You need one of those from the beginning, and you could just use either, I'm not sure if we're going to use a spiral or a binder, because you also need a binder so that you can draw and use other different types of medium. Here you'll see, like this one needs watercolor. That's in the thing over there. It's over here in the things that you might need for the whole class. I'm sorry, the whole unit, and then crayon, whatever. But you do a lot of tracing, I think, because I said some paper to trace something, I thought. Anyway, so I just thought I would put everything in a binder and section it off with tabs, much like this, just to give it a good feel. I wasn't sure what this is, and I didn't read every single word of the chapter before this, but it is the beginning scripture. We learn the scripture at the beginning of the year almost in every school year, so I'm not sure what it's used for. I feel like it's going to be used to draw in watercolor for some reason. Oh my gosh, and then look at the mini book. The mini book is like amazing. So I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to use the PDF and go to my local Office Depot, or we even still have Kinko's attached to the FedEx place, and copy these on this weighted type of paper because I really like it, or on some hard cardstock, but I like it. And so anyway, again, getting it in hand is so different. I don't know if I'm becoming a tactile person because of my children, but I saw all of these PDFs and it's still, or maybe I didn't see the PDF of this one. I don't think I was able to look at the PDF, but anyway, it's much better in person. You can just see how beautiful it looks. And then there's God woven through every part of this. and it is a Christian worldview. So that was lesson 1, and all the other lessons are very similar. It tells you what you need at the very beginning. So if you want, like, I'm probably going to prepare a month in advance. I was going to do the whole year, and I started planning, and then I was reading or listening to the book Teaching from Rest, which is amazing, by the way. And she was saying that one of the things that she learned over the years is to not plan a whole year in advance, or some people are good with that, but she planned 6 weeks in advance just to account for things that, life happens and you don't want to mess up your perfectly planned schedule. So I'll probably do maybe 4 to 6 weeks planned out. And so I'll know what I'm doing in terms of preparation. Sorry, chatting it up again. But anyway, here it is. So the tips that I was planning on giving you, I think I've already given, but I didn't say anything. So like I said, there were 43 books that you would have to get from your library, about 4 to 6 per week. And I think that it would, behoove us to order them the week before, because it takes some time. At my library, it usually takes about 7 to 10 days before they're able to get something from the interlibrary. And so at least you have the list beforehand, and you'll know, what you'll need pretty much. So that's it. I'm just going to thumb through the pages so you can see what they look like. Like here we have, it's funny, we have a package of styrofoam balls from a science thing from my son when he was in Christian school. But the same theme is throughout. There's always preparation. The optional read aloud usually comes first. You read to the children. There's not always a lesson mini book, but every other one there is. And then you put these words on the science wall. So this is your preparation area so that you know what you're doing for basically your lesson plan. And then there's usually an activity and a lot of hands-on activities. I wasn't actually expecting that. I'm not super familiar with the Charlotte Mason method, but I'm coming into knowing it. Been watching a few Facebook Lives from a lady, I'm not sure her name, but she wrote the Apologia series, and a lot of the women in there that follow her had no idea that Apologia's curriculum was written from a Charlotte Mason perspective. I didn't either, because I didn't have that type of homeschooling this past year. Mine was very traditional, nothing classical about it. So anyway, look at this. My kids are gonna love this. Well, they don't. I do. It's so pretty. That reminded me of Oprah for a moment. Anyway, this is what it looks like. Here's another one of those mini books. And there's the same theme follows. So everything in purple, as you can see, is a lot. If you see these tabs over here and the tabs that are, on this, over on this side, it's quite a lot of printing. So I'm glad that I ordered it this way. I'm not sure that I could have ordered a PDF file, but that might be helpful. I might need to call and request one if I haven't already. I don't know that it comes that way, but it will be really helpful anyway to see. And so basically what you're getting is a day, or in a day's lesson, or however long you're going to make the lesson last, you're getting, you're going to get a day that tells you what to do. Let's go over that again. I said it before. Like, here's lesson 5. Tells you everything that you need to do, what you need to print, what labels that you need to do with these, and then the optional, the mini book activity. It's like strewn throughout the whole thing this way. Here's the mini book. You obviously cut them on the dotted line and create half books for the children. And 2 of my sons are doing this one together. And I'm sure based on all the activities, the other kids will probably want to get in on this. It's really pretty. And here's the one I was telling you about earlier, where after this lesson they're going to start creating, here's lesson 6, and this is where they start the weekly weather activity, and they'll do it from here on out. So here it is, and we've seen plenty of things like this on free teachers' websites, but this is one that they'll get to do themselves. I'm not sure. I think I'm going to make a copy of it and let them color it in if they want to, and then I'll color one in, and I'm going to laminate this. That's the plan. So then they can, just reuse it instead of doing it, because if they have to do this every day, then it's going to be something that I'd rather than erase every day and start over. So anyway, that's the whole curriculum. I don't know if I want to take all the time to go through every page, because it's, like I said, it's the same format as always. We have a daily, and then this adds to it, there's the daily weather data that they're going to record, and then you read to the children, and then the science wall letter words that are there, and then the journal. Every single day, it's almost I like the consistency. Even though they're doing something differently every day, I still like the consistency of the plan, because my kids, I have 4 boys, and they really need that. And then they give you the follow-up questions to the things that they listen to or that they've read themselves, and then there's always an experiment. So what I'm planning on doing is we're only going to have a 4-day week homeschool year, so on this day we'll probably do the books, and so this we'll do all together. And then here I might save this for, so this is going to sound odd, but we're starting our days 4 days a week, but our off day is Tuesday because we have enrichment classes, so we have music and gymnastics and all kinds of things going on the entire day of Tuesday. So really, when we start our week for homeschool, we're probably going to start on a Wednesday, just because I want to begin this stuff on Wednesday and then do this science journal and answer these questions on Thursday, do the mini book on Friday, and then on Monday we're going to have a review, if that makes any sense at all to you. And then on Tuesday, which we get done with our activities by 2 o'clock, I want to reserve Tuesday afternoons for science experiments. And so we're going to have 3 different science curriculum going on at the same time. And I think these are simple enough where they could do themselves. So we will talk about the science experiment, but we will save the science experiment for our off day of school on Tuesdays, if it works out that way. That is the plan anyway. Hopefully that didn't sound as confusing as it did when it came out of my mouth. However, that's what the plan is. Another mini book. And it's not stuffy. It doesn't seem stuffy or boring at all. It seems like, oh, my son is obsessed with meteorologists. I totally think that if he's not an NFL football star, he will definitely be a meteorologist. He's going to be somebody that's on television because he's obsessed with the weather and tracking it every single day. So that's really it. I don't know if I need to go through all of it. I was gonna try to thumb through it so you can see. The paper's really thick. That did not work out like I thought it was. It's really good. It seems really simple, which is what I'm going for. We're moving from a very traditional, super structured homeschool to like relaxed, but still with organization and order, because I do need that to have my sanity. But oh wow, this one's pretty too. So these are like, I put a tab in these because this one is long and it's just really beautiful, really pretty. Oh, they're gonna love those. And my older son he's still doing Rebecca videos, and so he'll get to see some of the stuff. He did clouds and weather this year with 4th grade Rebecca, and when he saw some of these, he was thinking, like, why didn't I see that with my curriculum? But they did show pictures, but it's different than just here and having the experience. They actually did this particular experiment in his class this year with the tornadoes. Anyway, this video is getting super long, and I wanted it to be super short, so I might just do some voiceover and flip through just so you could see the rest within a decent amount of time. Because when I am filming this, it seems like the time is going by so fast. I don't know how other YouTubers can film something in like 5 minutes. Maybe I should just shut up. Sorry. Oh wow, I like that picture. Hurricane Isabel. And I am from a place that has hurricanes. So, it's beautiful on a picture, but it is not beautiful when it actually happens. So, that's it. Just wanted to thumb through the rest of it and give you an idea of what it looked like. Here's the 5-day forecast. This is towards the end of the curriculum. Sorry, I'm still not good at this recording thing. And lesson 20 is a unit conclusion, and so this is the last one in there, and there's like an assessment thing that you can use, and it starts here with the lower elementary questions, as you can see, what that looks like, and then it moves on to upper elementary questions, which I think we'll probably do all of them because they're scientists. I expect a lot out of them in this category. and then they have something that an older child could do. And my fourth grader could totally do this, write a 3-page. I don't know about 3-page, but he can definitely write a 1-page essay on what he learned in the class. The weather graph, Dean enjoys things like this. He had one last year, actually. And that's it. So, and here are some key terms that they're going to cut and make a vocabulary game out of. And that's pretty much it for the meteorology unit study with the good and the beautiful. And thank you so much for watching. I did go through it and I didn't say what I thought it was. So there is enough space to put this in a 3-ring binder. I think that's what it was meant to do. I need to find out from my local copy place if this, I had something bound before with Matthew C, and it totally cut into, it was so closely bound, if you can see what I mean. Like, it was bound right here, and some of it even cut off a couple of the top letters of the lessons that I was on, and so I wasn't happy with that. And they did have to cut the binding off of the book. I'm not sure how, what the inches that they need to go into to bind this, but I'm going to take it there and find out, because I would hate it to be ruined and these beautiful pictures ruined because, some of them are really, close to the edge. Like this one, for instance. I don't know what it is, but I think it's about the gems. Like, I know I'm going to be cutting that out, but I kind of wanted to make this my teacher copy, and the copies that I made were going to be for my boys. And so I don't know if the way that it's set up that's going to be possible, but I'll look on the Good and Beautiful page and find out what others did. Most of the ones that I've seen so far put them in binders, and I'm not so sure that I want to put holes in it, or that I want to be the one to punch those holes. So anyway, thank you so much for tuning in to seeing what the meteorology looks like. And if you have any questions or any comments, just leave them down below. Thanks again for watching. Have a blessed day. Last week was Dean and Dylan's 8th birthday, so here are some pics of my beautiful new 8-year-olds. Thanks for watching.